All right, good evening. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Opening remarks. Mr. Powers.
Thanks, John. Good evening, everyone. Great to see you. I'll keep it brief because I always feel like I'm speaking for Alyssa when I give my opening remarks. So really just we had a great opening of the school year. Obviously, work still continues. I know Alyssa's going to give an overview, but you would never know it. Obviously, you walk into that school and the school is humming and students and staff are smiling. We felt that way last year, although there was still a lot of visible work to do last year. You really don't notice that as much this year. So I think if you were to walk in there, you really probably really wouldn't notice some of those finishing touches that are still taking place, but we're excited. Another great start of the school year, and I can't thank the support of the committee, and obviously Alyssa and her team, and Jean and John, and everyone from Bacon, and certainly Mr. Bray for being a great building principal over there and getting the school year off and running. So I'm happy to answer any questions, but really we're off to a great start.
Super. All right, thank you. Item 5, approval of previous meeting minutes from August 14th, 2023.
Motion to approve. This is Lil. Motion to approve the July 10th school building committee meeting minutes. I mean, August 14th. I'm sorry, the August 14th, 2023 school building committee meeting minutes.
Second, Mike Loesch.
All right, any discussion? All right, we'll do the roll. Mike Dolan.
Yes.
Lil.
Yes.
Pat.
Yes.
Michael Loesch.
Yes.
Mark.
I'm going to abstain because I wasn't there.
Harsh.
Same. I wasn't at the last meeting, so I will abstain.
All right. Thank you.
John, I don't know if
John,
you got
just
me,
so you
Matt
know-
Rushton, just as an abstain. I also was
Oh,
not.
I'm sorry, Matt.
No worries.
Didn't read down far enough.
And John Scott just joined us as well.
Okay,
Yes.
great.
Sorry if I missed what this vote was about. Is it about the last
The
meeting
approval
agenda?
of the minutes from the August 14th meeting, Scott.
Yes. Yeah, I would vote yes for that,
Okay, great.
unless there are changes before I got on.
They weren't.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, item 6, to Alyssa for the OPM update. Oh, and I was a yes. Sorry.
All right, so I'll jump into the update. These are getting shorter and shorter, as you would expect. We continue any remaining contract work and change order work. Continuing on our warranty and punch list items. This week, the director of facilities and the landscape architect are going to continue their next meeting to discuss the landscaping status and maintenance of the school grounds. JJ Curran has resealed the gym floor, which looks great. Cassandra Signs have installed and completed the George Mitchell dedication plaque. And then as far as the lighting controls, we had GGD on site commissioning each of the rooms, and they are working on developing that report of any deficiencies that we will issue to the contractor. And so now we're continuing to just meet monthly on Tuesdays as the work winds down. The remaining work, the gas submeter credit, which we'll discuss under the change orders. And then the split units in room 186, that condenser was replaced. So we'll just be checking that regularly to make sure that there's no error codes. And then as far as systems, we're still wrapping up the lighting controls. 2 of the 3 missing panel board covers were installed. So systems, their last order for the panel board covers, the company that was shipping them went on strike and they lost the order. So they actually had to reorder. But 2 of the 3 were installed. So that's really good progress on that. The admin phones. So you remember last month that we met, we had a change order to install new phones that would have capabilities in the front office. And that was to be able to remotely unlock the doors and also use the paging system for that. So those phones were upgraded as a measure of security. And then we had a phone at the custodial not working. So NSG, who's the access control subcontractor, they went to check the wiring with systems. So that item was still open. But as far as the post-occupancy schedule continues to wind down, we do have a few owner-requested change orders that we'll get into when we get to the change orders, but that was just a summary there of the snake alphabet and the credit for the gas submeters. So I've continued to track additional meetings if needed. If we have bills to pay or business to discuss, we'll meet. If not, then obviously we won't have a meeting. We are winding down in terms of bill payments. Believe that there's a little over 300,000 left on Bacon's contract. And most of that has to do with systems. So when we finally get to the final bills, then of course we'll start meeting less and less. And then just continuing to track our budget. We're on budget, of course, and then tracking our pro pay. So we have 1 pro pay under review right now, number 37. So that's it for the update. I can't see the screen, so I don't know if anybody has any questions.
John, I just have one question for Alyssa, if that's okay.
Sure.
So, Alyssa, we at the last meeting when we talked, I'm glad to hear the gym floor is done and that's all set. But the terrazzo was going to be cleaned by staff, and then it was going to be sealed by the contractor. Did we flush that out as to who was cleaning it and who wasn't cleaning it?
Yeah, so we had a conversation with the contractor about that because we brought the concerns to our last meeting. And they mentioned that this work was done as a measure of good faith. They didn't charge us for it. We thought that the quality could be better. And so they agreed to do the work. So that's why we cleaned the floor, but they assured us that they wouldn't reseal the floor. They wouldn't touch the floor if it weren't in a condition that it couldn't be sealed. So that's why they agreed to do the work, because they thought they should do it. And furthermore, the facilities department did end up cleaning the floor, and the contractor ensured that it was thoroughly cleaned.
So that work's complete then?
Yes.
And you're satisfied with how it came out?
I haven't seen it. So I haven't been to the school in some weeks. I had COVID last week, so
Right.
I wasn't at the meeting.
All right, but somebody inspected it and it's all set?
John Bartecki, I don't know if you had a chance to look at it. Is it there?
I don't know that Mark had done it yet. That's,
Okay.
it wasn't done last week when we were there, when we talked about it, so.
So we'll follow up then on the status of that. Any other questions?
Yeah. Any questions? All right. Thank you, Alyssa. Moving on to item 7, the designer update.
Yeah, our update is probably much shorter than even Alyssa's. I mean, John continues to be out there as requested. Chasing of, typical kind of closeout issues. And he told me that GGD is still in the process of, I think, kind of finalizing their report on the lighting control issue. But, honestly, beyond that, it's just reacting to issues that come up or following up on issues, and trying to support Alyssa and you guys.
All right, sounds good. Any questions for Gene? All right, thank you, Gene.
Welcome.
Item 8, approval of Bacon payment application 29 required. So that,
About that was muted. This payment application number 29 is in the amount of $57,860. And this was retainage reduction for subcontractors that have finished work. So that was the wood athletic flooring, that was the poly, that was Cassandra, National Equipment, and Rustic Fire Protection.
any questions? All right, we'll entertain a motion.
This is Lil. Motion to approve Bacon payment application number 29 in the amount of $57,860.
This is Harsh, second.
All right, we'll do the roll. I'm gonna go first, yes. Mike Dolan,
Yes.
Lil,
Yes.
Pat,
Yes.
Michael Loesch,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Mark,
Yes.
Harsh,
Yes.
and Matt.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Motion carries. Item 9, approval of Bacon change order number 25, vote required.
Okay, so change order number 25. There's a small change for the playground markings in the front of the building. The Y was missing from the alphabet. So we felt that that was something that should be fixed and should be addressed. So the price given for that was $849. They'll come back for a day and complete that work. And then I don't know if John Bertecki, if you want to jump into the gas sub-meter discussion. I know we've touched upon it many times in our meetings, but Phil, you could say it better than me.
So there's a gas meter on the building, and obviously it works and you pay your bill, you know how much gas you use. We had, during the design process, as part of the LEED certification, said, oh boy, we can get another point, right, to if we have these sub meters. So you have the main meter, and then you might have a little meter that goes to the rooftop unit, and another one that goes to the boiler, and another one that goes to the hot water heater. And LEED, they think that's it's fine, a good thing, because then you're supposed to get the point, report to them every month how much you spend on your boiler and your rooftop units and this and that. They're just trying to collect data, and they do it on HVAC equipment, so gas, they do it on water, and they do it on electrical. Well, honestly, our plumbing engineer, you know, spec sub meters, and all through the process, it only became apparent kind of at the end that the meters they had didn't really do what they were supposed to do. And instead of asking you guys for, you know, $15,000 or $16,000 to substitute out the gas meters, we said, forget it, just give us a credit for the ones that you have. And the only reason we kind of made that leap of faith was it really doesn't provide the district with any, I don't know, any value. You were just going to read the meters and send the information to lead and get another lead point. And, you know, the lead points, you're rated silver, and you're not near gold, which, you know, might have been a reason to spend some money. So, you know, we just thought that it would be better to take the credit and, you know, kind of leave it at that. So I don't know if that makes sense. You know, they're not required. They're really not any benefit to the town, and you know, it would have cost money to kind of switch them out, and we just didn't think it was worth it, and it was better to get a credit.
So Gene, I have a question or two.
Sure.
So does that require a modified filing with lead?
No. The building's already been certified, John. And I mean, we could go through the problem. I mean, we could go through the process. You know, they'd take a point off and you'd still be at the silver level.
Okay.
So,
And that 1 point, that was for gas, electric, and water.
yes. Yep.
So we spent money. Did we spend any money to put meters on water and gas that we wouldn't otherwise need? I'm sorry, water and electric that we wouldn't otherwise need?
Well, at the time, you did spend money. Those meters, those sub meters are there. You know, and at the time, it was part of striving for this point. So that was the reason for it. I don't think the town would have any use for the data. I may be wrong, but I don't think so.
The other data is still valuable for planning, you know, for the town, right? For the district to know how much electricity and where it's going. And the meters do have some value, usually to an owner. I agree for the gas. It's not like you're really going to do anything different. Most gas is non-discretionary, right? I mean, you got to heat the building.
Yeah, you gotta have hot water, and those are the two things.
Yeah.
Whether it's the boiler or the rooftop units, you're still heating the building. So,
All right. So I have a question on the other item, but does anybody have any other questions on the gas submeters? All right. So I hate to do it. I hate to ask the question, but as a learning institution, how did we forget the why?
well, none of us did, but our landscape architect created a pattern on the pavement for the kids, A, B, C, D, blah, blah, blah. It looks like a snake. And for whatever reason, whoever was doing it forgot the Y. So they went from W to Z. All I can say is like human error, you know.
That's a reason. I mean, that's an explanation. You just said, you know, some of us, or one of us, is going to get asked.
Yeah. So
I'm just surprised it took this long to find out.
I don't even know how it came up. So Alyssa or John, a kid found it. Okay. So, good job, Dennis. Your kids are all over it.
Well, if Dennis would have let us implement this elaborate, where's the why plan, this wouldn't have come up.
Brennan's Powers plans, I can't take credit for that plan.
All right, any other questions on this change? Credit, overall it's a credit, right?
Correct.
So if there aren't any other questions or discussion, we'll take a motion.
I'll motion, this is Mark, to approve change order 25.
Matt Rushton will second that.
For credit of $5,622.83.
Yes.
All right, we'll take the roll. John Garish, yes. Mike Dolan,
Yes.
Lil,
Yes.
Pat,
Yes.
Michael Loesch,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Mark,
Yes.
Harsh,
Yes.
Matt.
Yes.
All right, thank you. The motion passed. All right, next meeting. So Alyssa had that for October 16th. So I'm not sure if you said this, Alyssa, but is that going to schedule it if we and we don't need it, we won't meet, or is that going to be a regularly scheduled meeting?
We'll schedule it, and if we don't need it, we'll let you know.
Okay. Does that work for everybody? So we may find out on Thursday before that we don't need to attend. I mean, that works for me. And then if anything comes up that Alyssa wouldn't be aware of, just let me know and we'll make sure it gets on the agenda and we'll have the meeting.
We'll know by October 10th. So we're having our OIC meeting.
Okay.
So we'll determine during that meeting whether we need to have a building committee.
Yeah, perfect. All right. Any new business? Item 11.
John, this is Lisa. I just have a question.
Sure.
The back playground, I know it was all mowed and everything, but going over the fence, behind the fencing, there's a lot of overgrowth that's coming over the fence. And I don't know if it's possible to like create like a mowed path around the exterior part of that fence. There were kids picking these little red berries the other day that were hanging over, and I'm like, oh, we can't eat those. So I didn't know, and it looks awful, but I didn't know if that had been thought about.
That's a good question. I don't know the lay of the land, literally. So does anybody have an opinion on that?
Is mowing and stuff under the district now, or is it under the contractors? That's probably facilities, right? Oh, Alyssa, we've taken over mowing, correct?
Depends on the areas, Pat. They're coming out on Wednesday to reassess, just to see. So I know Alyssa shared that diagram with you before. Without it in front of me, I can't exactly, picture where Lisa's talking about. That could be an area that we're responsible for. It may still be under the landscaper, but we can definitely take a look at that on Wednesday when the landscape architect's out and figure that out.
I know they put the gates in now so they can get back there, but before, when you were originally there at the beginning of the year last year, there was like a big swath mowed all around the outside of that big playground. And that kept all this overgrowth from encroaching for the kids. I don't know if it's possible.
This is beyond the fence, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I mean, I don't, we would we would clear it and put the fence in, but we certainly wouldn't create a 5 or 6 foot mow path around the outside of the fence
Okay,
normally. And again,
But
yeah,
But
if you
you could
just,
look- Lisa, you could look at it with the landscape architect, you could walk it. If
okay,
the grade is fairly flat and stuff,
Yeah.
maybe we can get
Yeah.
it seeded or something.
I'm just concerned with like these berries and the poison ivy that's coming over the fence and it attracts the little kids. I don't want anybody eating any of that. And
Is this, it's not like the PE field, right?
nope, I don't know I haven't been on the PE field. This was the other big playground.
So, and not the senior center side, the other side, or?
No, the senior center side, just all 4 sides of that
Oh.
playground. If you go out and look, you can see it looks like a jungle coming in.
Okay,
And
oh, well, that's all pretty flat. So-
yeah, it's just the nature. That's
Sounds to me like if it's been turned over, then it's a school department maintenance issue, right? And whether you can drive back there or not, somebody can get back there with a weed whacker and do it. So maybe that can be added to the list so it doesn't get so high, it gets over the fence, right?
yeah, it's like a jungle. So I was just a concern. So thank you.
Okay. Yep.
John, could I just ask two more questions? Because I'm still confused. So the terrazzo floor has not been done yet, is that correct?
I don't know whether it is or it isn't, so we're gonna check.
All right, and then who's responsible for the playground area now? Because it seems like that's already getting taken over by weeds in the mulch beds. Is that the school district or is that the landscape contractor still?
I'll have to check. I haven't looked at that diagram in some time, but I can get back to you on that.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else on the new business?
John, it's Mike. And this is more of a question for Lisa. Lisa, more of a question and sort of statement.
Yep.
It's great you're bringing this up at the meeting now, but we only meet once a month. Just want to make sure that if you're hearing things from other staff members or even you have the concern that we're not waiting a full month to take action on something like that.
Okay.
So I just want to throw that out there that those things, it's fine they come up here, but we don't want to wait a month between meetings to sort of address things like that. That's all. That's so just my own sort of.
Sure. I know that it was all mowed. It was recently. So I'm like,
Okay.
oh, that looks good. So, okay.
Okay.
So who do you want me to talk to, Michael?
So yeah, Dennis,
Okay.
we yeah, absolutely. Bring
Okay.
those concerns to him. And then he can bring them to that Tuesday meeting.
Yep.
If needed.
Sure.
If I can add, if the area you're speaking about is the East Playfield area, that one needs to be reseeded for establishment prior to acceptance.
Okay.
And the other areas have been provisionally accepted. All the other playgrounds. K2, the gym playfield, and the pre-K playfield. So he will do final acceptance when he comes back this fall, so Wednesday.
All right. Anything else on the new business? Okay, item 12, public comment. Anything under public comment? All right, well, I want to thank everybody. Next item on the agenda is adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Lil second.
All right, we'll do the roll. John, yes. Michael Boland,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Yes.
Michael Loesch,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Mark,
Yes.
Harsh,
Yes.
and Matt.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, John.
Thank you,
Thanks,
John.
John.
Have a good night,
Take
everyone.
Good
Thank you.
night.
Bye.
Good night, everybody.